What's up everybody, Billy from Typical Reviews here, and today we're going to be going over my top 5 smartphones of 2015. Now I'm only going to go over the ones I have personally used throughout the year, because we started the channel back in September when the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus were launched, so I haven't been able to get my hands on all of the phones this year, but the ones that I have, I'm going to be giving my honest opinion of. For example, I never got my hands on the OnePlus 2 or the OnePlus X, but from what I've read and seen online, they're both really excellent phones. But personally, I can't comment it, so I won't in this episode. So here are my top 5 smartphones of 2015 in no particular order, but be sure to stay tuned until the end where I name my personal favorite. I'm going to be starting off with the Apple products first. So 2015 was a S update year for the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus, meaning that aesthetically there wasn't really much that changed. Most of the changes were done on the internals instead. Aesthetically, they look identical to their 2014 counterparts, but what makes the difference is what's inside. The only way that you would be able to tell the iPhone 6s versus the iPhone 6, for example, would be either to check for the S badge on the back or to see if it's the new rose gold color, which was brand new for 2015. But if the phone's in a case, that might be super hard to actually check, seeing as the S badge is on the back, and a case might even be covering what color the phone actually is. The biggest feature improvement has got to be the build quality this year. Last year with the iPhone 6 Plus, people were reporting that they were actually able to bend the phone with their hands or even in their pockets, but this year it seems like it takes the strength of at least 2 grown adults to be able to do that. So if you'd like to check out our bend test video, be sure to check out the description below for a link to that video. The new Touch ID on both the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus is wicked fast, and you can get into the home screen like almost instantaneously. It's really awesome. Last but certainly not least is the 3D touch on both of the models. So essentially you could just apply a little bit more pressure on certain applications and they'll actually bring up a little shortcut menu so you can access things quicker. It's pretty sick. To see our full rundown and review of the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus respectively, be sure to check out the description below for a link to both of those videos. Next are going to be my favorite Android phones of 2015. So pretty early on in the year, I was able to get my hands on the Galaxy S6 and Galaxy S6 Edge. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a full review of this phone, but I can tell you the biggest pluses of this phone were the design and camera. The glass and metal design on the S6 is absolutely awesome. Like, just looking at it, it's really well built. It looks really awesome, but albeit it's a little bit fragile because of the glass. I'd probably be rocking a case on this thing because just in case it falls, I would just be worried about this glass cracking or breaking. I know that a case takes away from the aesthetics of the phone, and believe you me, the phone is really nicely designed and it looks really cool too, but I'd rather be safe than sorry and actually put a case on this thing in order to protect your investment. The only other thing about it being glass is it is indeed a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, but honestly, it's nothing that you can't clean up. The camera on the Galaxy S6 series phones are absolutely amazing. They are second to none. They take some of the best smartphone photos that I have seen on all of the smartphones that I was able to try out this year. My only major gripe with the S6 series is the battery life. In all honesty, it's a little bit disappointing, and some of the days I wouldn't be able to get through a whole day without charging it compared to my other phones in this lineup over here. So next up on the docket are the Nexus phones. The Nexus 6P over here, the Nexus 5X, and here's the box for the 6P, and the 5X boxes over here. So those are the ones made by Huawei over here, the 6P, and LG for the 5X. To check out our full review of both of these phones and even a comparison as well, be sure to check out the description below for a link to that video. Both of these phones run stock Android, and that, first of all, is probably the biggest and most appealing factor of them both, but that's not all. They actually feature some pretty awesome specs respectively. The Nexus 5X is actually the more budget-friendly option because it is indeed made of plastic, and the specs are decent on it, but not top of the line. To that effect, it's super light, has a super responsive fingerprint scanner on the back, and the camera on it is pretty sick too. Not to mention the stock Android experience. Honestly, you're probably going to hear that a lot during this video. Now, the bigger brother, the Nexus 6P, is rocking a larger display, a 1440p AMOLED display, a very nice aluminum body, and it's still rocking the same awesome fingerprint scanner and the wicked camera on here as well. And let's not forget that magic word, stock Android. But one of the biggest things as well, and it's kind of the difference between the two, which you can check out the comparison video that we have in the description below, is although they both look like they have front-facing speakers, in actuality only the Nexus 6P actually does. So both of these are dual front-facing speakers on this thing. In all honesty, these are both awesome Android phones, and they both feature the stock Android experience. And if you guys want to check out a comparison, be sure to check out the description below. Alrighty. If I had to pick out of all the phones that I tried this year, which one was my personal favorite, I'm gonna have to go with the Nexus 6P. In my opinion, it is the complete package. It has a 1440p AMOLED display, like I said earlier. It has pretty good battery life for a phone of this size. The aluminum body is just fantastic. The build quality is great. It takes fantastic photos. The camera on this thing is pretty good. Maybe not as good as the S6 one, but it's still really, really, really good. I enjoy it a lot. And of course, stock Android. I know it makes it seem like it's the best thing in the world, but in all honesty, it's one of the best operating systems in my opinion. Overall, I think that the Nexus 6P is the complete package. Of course, it's not the perfect phone by any means, but compared to all of the other ones over here, if you're going to be picking up an Android phone, this is probably the best of the best in my opinion. If I had to pick an Apple equivalent, I would actually go with the iPhone 6s Plus over just the regular iPhone 6s. Due to the size and the bigger battery, I like it so when I actually unplug my phone from my charger in the morning and go to work for the day and come back home, that the phone is still usable at the end of the day. That's my biggest prerogative when I'm choosing a phone. And also I like the larger screens for media consumption as well. This one's a 1440p, this one's only 1080p, but they're still awesome phones. So if I had to pick the Apple equivalent, I would go with the iPhone 6s Plus, but my overall pick for the 2015 smartphone is the Nexus 6P. Now I want to know what you guys think. Do you agree with my choice for the 2015 smartphone of the year, or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press that like button. And if you enjoy this kind of content and would like to see more, be sure to subscribe to us over here at Typical Reviews. Since this might be the last video of 2015, I'd like to thank each and every subscriber out there for supporting us since the creation of this channel earlier this year. You guys have made this all possible, and I can't wait to see what 2016 brings for us. So be sure to stay subscribed to us so you can stay along for the ride. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you had an awesome 2015, and peace out. See you in the new year.